think it'll get it. Okay, fine.
It
It went out. It all of a sudden just went zip. Is it going now? Well, we'll see. Doesn't matter. I got this anyways.
Keep an eye on
I'll
it.
send it to them. Okay. The first commandment is really, they call them the 10 commandments. I know. Listen, they call 630 commandments, but it's not that. Torah is a technology. Torah is a technology of connection. The word mitzvah comes from the root savat, which means connector. It's 613 connections. Okay? It's not a commandment. And the Zohar calls it an ita. Like I had a dream. I had a dream, ita. I'll explain what it
Chalom, I
is.
thought it was dreaming.
What?
Chalom is dreaming.
No, I had a dream. Sorry.
Oh.
In the dream, there was this guy who was going to me, Ma nishtana ha'ita hazeh. And I repeated, Ma nishtana ha'ita hazeh. Who's ita? I don't know anybody. I do. Who's ita? I woke up.
Hazot, not hazot.
Then I woke up. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh. I'm familiar with, but he changed the word ha'ita hazeh. And then it only took me like a little while after I woke up, and I'm like, Ita in Aramaic, Zohar is Eitzah, is advice. There are 613 pieces of advice.
Can you spell Eitzah?
Eitzah is Ayin, Yud, Sadi, Hey. Eitzah.
And that's mitzvah.
Big. It's huge. Believe me, that word is huge.
It's not mitzvah related.
Mitzvah is really, the Zohar describes them as ita, which is, they are advice. There's a, yeah, it is. Because, I'm always like going, I need the piece of advice. And he's going, it doesn't matter. Ma nishtana. Doesn't matter which piece of advice that you're following. Ma nishtana. No difference. Just follow some advice. And really the most profound thing is where to get it from is there's a Rashi in Exodus, and Paro was talking to Moshe. Of course he's always got something nice to say. Paro says, "Go tell the people who go, at your feet." He uses the language of, go Moshe, and he gives reference to Moshe and the people of his that are at his feet, and they go, who's at Moshe's feet? What does that mean? It means the people who listen to Moshe's advice. Interesting that there's legs are hooked up with advice.
Like the eight sky, like the tree of life.
It has to do with feet, but in any case,
It's
You
rooted,
can't-
like
you
your
can't-
feet.
you're
Yes.
rooted, exactly.
and it says follow the dust of their feet, which really means go after their advice. There's a Pirkei Avot, a statement in Pirkei Avot about the wise men, that you should follow after the dust of their feet, or sit the dust of their feet,
Yeah.
which means you got their advice. They're always giving advice, the real ones, good ones. I went to the Amshanavar. I went to him a few times. The Amshanavar is big, right? I hold he saved my life twice, okay? Literally saved my life, okay? My soul. And I wanted a blessing because I was single in yeshiva for 10 years, and I wanted a blessing. Actually, my Rosh Yeshiva sent me to him to get a blessing for a shidduch, for a soulmate. I don't give blessings for things that are going to happen anyways. But he gave advice. That's all he does. He gives advice in such a way that his advice that he gives, it's like the blessing
Well, the
works
knowledge is
through the
blessing.
advice. The blessing comes through listening to his advice. It's like he gives you a vessel.
Right.
In order that, anyways, how do we get onto that? In any case, first commandment was a hidden commandment. It doesn't say do or don't do, okay? Yes, it's a statement of identification, but really it is the mitzvah of emunah, but it's hidden in there. The idea of you have to believe in God, right? The first statement of creation. It's great that we're learning this now, okay? Because it's Hanukkah time, okay? That we know there are 10 vessels in the Holy Temple, 10 vessels. You know, you had the Ark of the Covenant with the tablets. You had the menorah, you had the showbread, you had an incense altar, you had an outer altar, you had a basin where you'd wash your hands. There were 10 vessels, basically, in the Beit HaMikdash. That's one thing. Now, the big thing is, which we'll get to, and once again, spiritual DNA here. When God made the creation, it's known that he made 10 utterances. If you look in the first chapter of Genesis, it says, and God said, let there be light. And God said, let there be a firmament. God said, let the waters gather. God said, God said, God said. Okay? So there's supposed to be, in our tradition, there's 10 statements God made, and he still makes, because God is infinite, that is making creation. And of course, the Gemara has chutzpah, the usual, and it asks, whoa, we counted, there's only 9. If you do that in a kid in a class like that, you get kicked out, right?
Yep.
Right? Or the parents get called, hey, we got problems with this and right? The Gemara, we only count 9. What are you talking about? So the answer was Bereshit is the first. The very first word of Genesis, Bereshit. The way it doesn't say, and God said Bereshit, right? Because it's so sublime, this statement of Bereshit, that it's not even expressed in a word. The way I look at it is, it's expressed in a wink. That's its expression. Okay? It's a wink. Or it's like a small, look of the eye. Whatever it is, very so subtle, this expression is so subtle. Now, there's 10 vessels, and we'll get to it all. We're going to line it up. The 10 vessels in the temple lined up to according with those 10 statements in creation. Okay? They also line up with the 10 commandments. Every single thing you'll see in 10 lines up, and this is the root of it. Every single thing of 10, this is the spiritual root of the 10. You got to know your Sefirot. Okay? The idea here is, which temple, which vessel corresponds to Bereshit? Well, which temple vessel? I mentioned a couple of them. So the idea really is the menorah corresponds to Bereshit. The menorah? Why not the Ark of the Covenant with the tablets? The menorah, because it is the source of everything. That's why you have to stare at your candles for half an hour. Did you know that?
That's it to him.
Chovas Yair. So first of all, women should not be working a half an hour at candle lighting. Right? The halacha, the law, Jewish
You're
law.
specific to
So your
him.
husband's not allowed to crack the whip and go, we need laundry, and cook those sufganiyot, where are my latkes, or whatever. Okay?
You sit in like your
You're
eyes
supposed
are
to
into
stare at the
light.
candle for
Yeah.
a half an hour, and I'm going to say this, I said this in the WhatsApp. Did you get into the boost? Anybody listen to the boost this week? Okay.
I have to get
It's okay. Some people just wait for like a month
I don't
of
have a
boost and then
boost.
they go, okay.
Okay.
Anyways, the Parsha of Hanukkah always falls out in Miketz. Miketz has to do with Paro has the dream, can't interpret it, and comes the master of dreams, Yosef, and interprets. Okay, so in other words, it's the Parsha of dreams. So the idea really is that what you're supposed to do when you're staring at your candles for a half an hour, because it is the window, it is the vortex to the other world, you're supposed to dream about your life from now on, how you would like your life to be, and pray for it. It is, and the angels, there's seraphim, there's the highest of angels are waiting at that point that take you right up, super FedEx, right to Shemayim. The doors are wide open for you to offer your prayer, but first you have to dream how you'd like your life to be from now on, this, and then you pray for it, like that, okay? Very special window of opportunity there that most people really pass it by, and I've passed it by for years until I learned about it.
As a child, I can remember just naturally looking into the candles, and you kind of just do that naturally as a child.
Yeah, it's a little hard to get people who really are being pulled to the computer,
Well, kids today, yeah, that's right.
looking at their watch.
We didn't have computers back then.
Okay, yeah, exactly, okay.
But if you look at the candles, the flame, well, at least for me, now that there's a few of them, they look like neshamas.
They
because
are. It's your
they're
neshama.
stretching
It's your neshama expanding, okay? So anyways, the idea really is that Moshe had a really tough time getting the details, the description of the menorah. Hashem would tell it to him, and then he'd go and try to tell B'Tzalel, and he couldn't get it. He had to go back to God to ask him, can you tell me that again? And then back and forth till finally Hashem says, so he showed him the virtual menorah of fire, basically, virtual picture of it. Got it, and then he got, so in other words, all of the other temple vessels, he got in a description. Build this big, got the dimensions. He got how to build it. This one he had to get shown through fire, a vision. Okay, different way. Okay, because it's so sublime. Okay, so that's Keter. Okay, so it's number 8 was completely hidden, like the first commandment and the first statement in creation. 9, inner volition, which we call that the internal mind. Internal mind, because something, when it comes to the will, it's very, it comes from, it's called satum. It means it comes from a hidden place. There's the way that our thoughts work, is one thought dresses on another thought that dresses on another thought, but it comes from the place of the hidden thought. So I would like to call number 9 the hidden thought, okay? Because it's so hidden. It's so high.
Oh, Satum. Hebrew.
Satum is Samech Taf Vav Mem Sofit. Okay? Indeterminism. Interesting. Like, why would we call that?
That's up to us.
It's really because we'll explain that when we get to dot. Okay? 11, the world of mercy, the 13 attributes, long-suffering. When we say the 13 qualities of compassion for those who do the slichot all of the month of Elul, and for those who do the slichot just before Rosh Hashanah, and all through the 10 days of Tshuva and Yom Kippur included. So here we're saying those 13 attributes, we're hooking up to that Sefirot, okay?
To Keter.
We're igniting Keter, yes. We're illuminating, we're touching, okay, waking up that quality. Really the essence of saying the 13 qualities, of course, is really to wake them up within ourselves. As we know, the palm tree of Devorah, which is one of the key things that is studied through the month of Elul, which is the way of imitating or emulating those 13 qualities of compassion. How God behaves with us, we should behave with other people. To the degree that we behave with other people, God behaves that way with us. 12, tshuva, repentance, okay, because repentance is before the world. It is something beyond nature. It's way beyond. Tshuva is beyond nature.
I understand. How was it beyond nature?
Because I explained last time.
Well, it changes your awareness into positive.
Yeah,
so that's beyond it.
But more like, when it came time to take the people out of Egypt, there's a office that God made in the world called the Office of Judgment. Okay, it's a tit for tat kind of thing. They kind of, this angelic office, I don't know how tall the building is, how big it is, and where it is. Maybe it's in Manhattan. Okay? In any case, it's 100 stories tall in Manhattan. In any case, this office God made called the Office of Judgment is basically said to God, wait a minute, how are you going to take the Jewish people out? We got issues. We got to sit down and deal with the issues. They're not worthy. They also commit idolatry. Why should they be worthy of getting out for you to step out? And you're going to interfere. The biggest problem was you're interfering with free will. You stepping out and stepping on the scene and doing with all the miracles of the going out of Egypt is going to mess up everybody's free will, and that is just, we're out. Because you know why? The most important ingredient of creation is that the creation has to choose. They have to have the struggle, They have to choose the good. They have to have it where it's not an easy choice. To choose God has to be a struggle. And you're taking away the struggle because all of a sudden if it's like, okay, here I am. Oh, okay, that's easy.
Yes,
So
no.
1 second. So the idea really is the force, like number 13 says, the name that took the people out is, I don't care what the law says, I want to do this. What do we call that now? Executive decision? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone make
there
an
you go.
executive decision.
Executive decision.
Yeah, Obama.
It's like, yeah,
Anyone.
God goes executive decision. In other words, it goes against all the rules because he set up the rules. There's rules of the game. And all of a sudden, no, we're switching the rules.
For, hard
No
work.
rules now.
It's for
I'm just
hard
going to
work.
go. I'm just going on the
But
play.
you can do
I'm
that.
going to throw the pass, and I'm going to catch the ball, and I'm scoring a touchdown. Okay? And that's how we're working it right now. Okay? No rules. Okay? I just heard a great, I don't know who this writer was. This Sheer. Listen to this. I don't know who this was, but if you guys know, I think it was he was a writer way early in the 70s, 80s, I think. And he's writing a book, and it's a drama, and he's got characters in this book, and they're going through all of their plans, and all of a sudden, in the middle of a sentence, the writer introduces himself. Hi, I'm the writer. I'm the one writing this book. I'm going to go walk in on these guys now and introduce myself. And he goes in, and these guys and the characters that are sitting at a table in a restaurant, and he goes up and he says, hi, I'm so-and-so. And they're going, who the are you? And he says, I'm your creator. And they're going, what? And they're like, what? This is how it's going, right? Right? Very, right?
Yeah.
Existential was the word, I think, right? So they're going like, okay. And he says, and if you want, I could make you disappear right now. Right? And then he leaves. And then they're talking, was that real? Do you think he was really the creator? Do you think? And then there's a whole dialogue, the rest of the book, or whatever they're going through. They come back and reintroduce, do you think that guy was really the creator? And they're introducing this concept. So, I mean, it was a wild idea. And can you imagine kind of now that there is a creator? And the book is being written. And it's being written right now. As we speak, as we sit at this table, there's a creator. Right? So, he can rewrite the book any second. He can just come in and go, oh yeah, I'm the writer. I'm just erasing this and this and this. And then... So tshuva is beyond nature. Tshuva is like, I'm going to take this sin and I'm going to make it not into a sin. I'm going to make it into a positive thing. Okay? You can flip anything. There's nothing that cannot be done here. Tshuva is one of those things that it goes against everything. Okay? Because you can flip anything. Okay?
So it's the order of miracles.
Beyond,
Realm
yes.
of-
And what I say, these first 3 Sefirot are what we call it Hanhagas HaYichud, the way God drives in terms of the way of unity, the driving of unity. Okay? It's a unity kind of drive. Yichud means ultimate connection, which means God's agenda. Okay?
Yeah.
The name of Ekyeh, which was the name that was revealed to Moshe at the burning bush. Because Moshe asks, he says, well, what am I going to tell them? He says, Ekyeh, Asher Ekyeh. I say it like that because you're not really allowed to pronounce it the way it is like that unless you're reading it in the verse. Okay? I will be what I will be, which means kacha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
in English it doesn't make any sense. That's true.
Like
Hebrew
this.
means
Like
kacha.
Like this. Stop.
I'm the writer. I'm the writer. I will be what I will be. This is who I am. I can't be anything else. I gotta take him out. I gotta take him out. But, no. This is how we're doing it. Okay? So that's why Keter is, okay? And we said a little bit last week that the dichotomy of Keter that the Sefer Yetzirah brings down, opposed to the last final one, which we'll call Malchut, which is really the Aleph Nun Yud, Ani, I, And if you switch the letters of I, Aleph, Nun, Yud, you have ayin. We say Keter is good, and the dimension, that's the dimension of Keter. The dimension of Malchut is the dimension going towards evil.
This is dimension.
Because it is ultimate, because it's ego. Okay? The last Sefirot here on this page here. This last one
Malchut
here.
is ego?
I'll show it to you. Malchut, yes, it's ani, yes. You gotta convert it. Okay? It's not evil, it goes towards evil. You can't say it is evil. But we say that is the dimension which could lead to evil. Okay?
Creates the
Malchut,
opportunity.
for sure, it needs, everything, we'll get to it.
Okay.
So
Every single thing that we need to fix is Malchut. It is the pleasure principle.
So Malchut is closer to the roof than the rest of the street.
Totally. Malchut is the lost princess. Malchut is the place where the pleasure principle, it's the gravity suck, it's the ego, it's the place where we are and we have to convert it. That's where all of our energy is into. Converting, taking Malchut. Okay, we're on 27 Chochmah. Okay? Number 2, the same light, the same universal infinite light that dresses in Keter, number 1, is now dressed in a different garment called Malchut. It is the same light, but we look at it a lot of times as like a lampshade with multi-colors. Look at a 10, sided lampshade, right? And it just has different colors. You could look at it like that on each lampshade. It's the same light inside. It's just, you look at this, it's Keter. Touch this, it's Chochmah. Okay? Once again, it's our baby steps in order to grasp the infinite one universal light. But we need to go in this way. Okay? So going from the Ein Sof through Keter goes to number 2, which is Chochmah, wisdom. Okay? Wisdom we call Koach Ma. So much is in that. We'll get to it. It's number 7. Okay.
Koach ma, that's not chachma. Wow.
That's what Chachma is, the same letters.
Koach
Yeah,
ma.
Ma.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's deep. Undifferentiated potential, okay, of existence that God wishes to give. For example, water that throws, 27. Water that flows through pipes. Okay, wisdom is the water, Bina is the pipes, as we'll see. The seed. I call it the seed. The way I look at Chachma is, Chachma, we can relate a little bit to Chachma a little bit, because Chachma is the first pop of inspiration that comes into the mind. You could be thinking, you could be wanting, you could be after something, trying to think of something, and then and then all of a sudden you're going to your car, you're walking in, you're out of your car. A lot of people are in the bathroom, okay? Whatever it is, it's when you're not thinking about the solution to the problem, all of a sudden, boom, it comes in.
Light bulb goes off.
That's the light bulb.
What-
Chachma is the light bulb, but it's just in a seed form. It hasn't been differentiated yet, okay? It's the first idea. And then the seed gives to number 3, which is Bina, which is understanding, okay, which is the ground, okay, in order to grow, in order to differentiate and break apart the seed and put it into its parts.
Water is wisdom. What is the
So we look at also water and pipes. Look, water doesn't have really any form, formless. It takes the form of whatever vessel you put in. To it. Okay? So Chachma really is very hard to grasp Chachma. Very hard. As a matter of fact, I call the level of Chachma as the area of no thought, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's the place where we try to get to.
It comes, you don't generate it, it comes to you.
Yeah, so it's more like the way we do it is there's a great meditation, we call it the pendulum. One Kabbalist shared with me, is that we try to get into the void in our mind of the no thought void, but it's very hard to stay in there, because as soon as you stay in there and you realize you're not having a thought, you're having a thought. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're out. So the idea really is just like a pendulum swings, and it goes into the no thought zone. And then it's going to come back into the thought zone. And the idea here is to swing and to be more longer in the no thought zone. and then you'll swing into the thought zone, but you know, because you can't remain in a no thought zone. It's not possible for us. Our brains are working, our minds are always working. But in a meditation, if a person can do that and swing, because that's where usually all the creativity really comes. It comes from Keter, but you have nothing. Keter, there's nothing to grasp. Chachma, there's water. There's water. Okay? There's something there that you need to channel that water. You need a pipe, you need a cup, you need a vessel. That's Bina. But in the meantime, you got to get the water. So the way to get the water is to try to get into the realm of no thought. All cultures have this kind of meditation where they try to get there. Okay?
But if you don't have a vessel for the chachma, you'll drown.
Your mind has the vessel. Bina is the vessel. It knows what to do with it. Okay? It knows, Chachma knows what to do. Because it's Chachma. It's wisdom. Okay? So we'll get to, the way I look at it is a seed. You cut a seed open, it doesn't have anything in there. You don't see a picture of the tree. Right? You don't see anything. Right? Not until you put it in the ground and it rots and then something sprouts from it. Then you see, okay. You don't see anything in a seed, but yet there's infinite trees in that one seed. Infinite. Okay? So number 2 is also called Abba, Father. We will get to that when we talk about the Partsufim. We went through everything. We'll get to the fact that Chachma is called Abba. You have to know this.
Wow.
We'll get more to it deeper later on. And because Bina is called Ima. And these are dimensions that are way above us. Okay? Trust me. Abba and Ima in the realm of the Partsufim are dimensions way above us. Okay? This is just a Kabbalistic tradition that's what they're called. Okay?
That's Zachar and the Sefirot.
It is as incomprehensible as Keter Crown, like I said, because it's like that one, it's a snap, but you don't really break it apart yet, like that water, which is kind of fluid in no form. So we call it a parallels the universe of Atzilut. We did learn about the 4 worlds. Okay? So we call it nothingness or the letter Yud. The letter Yud is like a seed in itself, if you look at it. It's just a point on the paper, a dot on a paper. Now, Keter is like called the tip of the Yud. It's even smaller, the tip of the Yud. Chachma, wisdom, is the Yud, and you're going to see Hey is going to be Bina, the next one, number 3. So you see, just like the letter Yud is just a dot, and the seed is just a dot, and it's hard to differentiate. It's hard to make something of it. Okay?
Floating dot.
I don't even think I understand number 5. I got that from this book here, Inner Space, by Rabbi Kaplan. It represents the axioms which define the world. For example, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
There are points, lines, concept, long, short, etc. So I guess what we would call an axiom is like a rule.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the principle, then you know where to apply the principle. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the place of all the principles, because that's where, if you have the principle, it's awesome. You know? Because then you're at the root of it. And we're here right now, what we're talking about is in the very roots of existence. So if you have the roots of it, if you have the principles, then you know where to apply those principles. All rabbis work like that. When we get a new invention, something new comes out, right? And you want to know, can you use that for Shabbos? Let's look at a Shabbos clock. I remember when it first came out, timer switches for lights, right? When they first came out with them. So we go to the rabbis, what's with this? Can we use them on Shabbos, right? So they have to take the rule of Shabbos with all the 39 malachas and see if this is going to be in alignment with the 39 levels of work. Right? So they measure up and they ascertain. And in the beginning, because they were so new and not everybody had them, so they say, well, there's nothing really technically wrong with it in terms of you're not breaking the Sabbath if you would use one. The problem is people outside your house walking by and see the light go off and on might tend to think that you're a Shabbos breaker and we have to burn your house down on Shabbos. Okay. So you could have pitchforks and torches, right? No. But, it might give the wrong impression. Once everybody had them, and it became everybody's got it, so then for sure you can use them, and everybody has that understanding, and everybody is responsible to come with that understanding that, of course, why their lights are going off and on is because of Shabbos clock. Okay? So in other words, they had a rule, they had to apply the rule. Okay? It happens all the time. We have the principles, where to apply the principles. That's Chachma. Okay? So 6, what a person learns from others, very important. But Salel, they say he was full of Chachma, was because that's what a wise man is. You'd think not, huh? Interesting. Okay, King Solomon was a very wise man. He did have a Rebbe, by the way. Solomon had a teacher, okay?
His
So,
father?
what?
His father?
No, his mother would beat the living daylights out of him, okay? That's what made him King Solomon, okay? She would, Bathsheba, beat the heck out of him.
Really?
Heck yeah. Spoiled little brat. Spoiled little prince, man. I'll teach you manners, okay? In any case, what we learn from others is called wisdom. I tell this all the time. There are 2 schools. 2 schools, right? One of hard knocks and one of wisdom. Wisdom, you can learn where the pitfalls are, where the dangers are. The best metaphor is in the Path of the Just, where they use a garden maze. You ever seen, what a garden maze is, right? They make them some here. I think northern Houston has a corn maze, right? That was standing tall corn. You try to go through the maze. Pretty fun thing. But they have towers where they have people looking out because people get lost. You can never get out,
In the Harry Potter.
They recommend, they had one in there too, I think, yeah. And Versailles.
Right.
I never made it to Versailles.
Versailles, no.
The Shining, okay. Jack, poor Jack, not poor Jack, okay.
Yeah, the ice.
Right? So in any case, if you have someone standing over the maze going, go left here, right here, leading somebody out of the maze. Hello. That's great. Not, So, that's really what we want. We don't want to just have fun in the maze, okay? It's not entertainment, okay? It's not. You want to get out of the maze, okay? You want to get it to where your destination is. You're stuck in a garden maze. God planted us in a garden maze. We don't know where right and from left is. We want to get out, okay? In other words, we want freedom, okay? Consciousness, higher consciousness. We want to, okay? So the idea really is, Chachma is the guy standing on the tall tower going, go right here, go right left. Don't go down there. Don't go right. There's monsters there. If you go left, don't go straight because there's a patch of zombies. There's zombies there that'll get you. Okay? So you can look at the stakes are really high. There's a pit with, there's dangers. And the reality is there is spiritual dangers. And the reality is yes. Okay? So if you learn from other people, the wise men who are giving advice, that's called wisdom. Okay? Simple. Who would ever think? You'd think wisdom is smarts and able to figure it out yourself. Not so. Okay? So the letters koach ma, which mean potential of what? Or the power what? That's what koach means. Koach means power and what? The same word letters. Okay? Of chachma is koach ma. Ma is a very significant thing because ma actually numerically is 45. 45 numerically adds up to the same numerical value of Adam. Aleph Daled Mem is 45. Really, the whole essence of man, and the Rav Tzadok brings this down, right? The essence of a person is thought. Go figure, okay? And the essence of thought is wisdom. That's the real thought. The real thought. There's a lot of phony thoughts, external thoughts, riffraff, like the ticker tape on the news screen going flashing by, right? And then there's the essential thought, which is wisdom. In other words, to hook up to your essence is to hook up to wisdom is to hook up to the essence of who you are. Okay?
You want the blue chip stuff.
So do you think people can switch from the school of hard knocks to wisdom, to the school of
Yeah,
knowledge?
100%. It has to be. Torah is the wisdom. People need to listen, we're in
You
exile.
think it's a
We're in
choice?
exile, and it's very challenging.
Hard
Because
not-
you don't understand, people say, I'm not gonna listen to those rabbis. They're all just power-hungry, selfish, self-centered, egotistical freaks, okay? I've seen it. I've heard it. Oh, no, there's there's so much goes into this. I'm talking about the real tzaddikim,
Yeah.
real righteous people. People still have resistance to listen to their advice. I'm one of them, okay? I have resistance. I resist it. I regret it, okay? So, I suppose, if you really had wisdom, is there real suffering?
Of course.
Maybe the suffering that one would
What's
have
suffering?
because of,
How do you define suffering? I mean, we've all experienced what we consider suffering.
if you have total amuna, is there suffering?
No.
Right. There shouldn't be technically. In
But
other words,
suffering
all suffering
yields
really stems
amuna.
from this one idea of you don't know how God is
It's kind of
driving.
fun.
You don't like how God is running the world. You have a different opinion. You don't really know what God is doing. If you would totally 100% clear on what God is doing, 100% clear, would a person necessarily? There might be hardships. It might be, but definitely I would say the suffering would be a lot less.
Yeah.
A lot less. You'd be able to endure it. A person goes to a gym and he works out and he has a pain tolerance and he's suffering pain, but in the end he knows it's good, right?
Yes.
So it's good. So he's okay with it. He's okay. So it's a suffering, but it's not really a suffering.
But you
It's a
have to
suffering,
have
but
it.
it's not really a suffering. It's a different kind of suffering.
It's an awareness.
Yeah.
A growth.
So Chachma is okay. It might be, painful to some degree. There might be some pain, but there's an awareness of, but it's really good.
Right.
It's really good.
That takes.
Because that has gratitude in it.
Yes.
Reward.
Yeah, because you couldn't have no suffering, because then you wouldn't have any growth.
Okay.
So you have to.
Okay.
You're saying some, maybe it's not like most.
It's a
people.
different kind of suffering.
Yeah.
You have to say there's two kinds of suffering.
Okay.
There's a suffering of abandonment, and then there's a suffering of fulfillment.
Suffering is fulfillment.
I don't know why I said that word. Maybe you can come up with a better one. I'd be happy to hear it. Like working out in a gym. You're suffering.
Yeah. But it's.
What kind of suffering is that?
That's fulfillment.
Would you call it fulfillment, or would you call it?
Rebuilding.
I don't
Well,
know.
if it's abandonment or fulfillment, it's fulfillment because you're fulfilling your goal.
Yeah,
getting
it's
help.
got a purpose. Maybe it's suffering for purpose, purposeful suffering. Okay.
And what's so
Yeah,
where's
because
abandonment?
you
It's
can't
not-
build your
Suffering of
muscles.
abandonment is the ultimate suffering, which is like you don't feel that,
There's no
all of.
purpose. It's
There's
well-
no purpose.
You-
God is.
wait, that you
There's
see.
no
belong.
purpose.
That
You don't see there's purpose.
Yeah.
Of course there's purpose, but you don't see it. You're not
Right.
aware.
Of course.
Okay.
And that creates the miracles.
Listen,
Oh,
we
yes.
want to
Oh,
go the
yes.
wisdom path.
Oh,
I would like to avoid the school of hard knocks.
But
It's
your
almost
greatest-
impossible to avoid it, though.
Excuse me, your
Raul.
greatest strengthening, your greatest spiritual strengthening, your greatest emuna come from the hard knocks, the great suffering of abandonment.
We don't look for it.
Of course not.
Nobody's
No one
signing
wants
up
that.
for the school of
No,
hard knocks.
of course not.
Nobody
It's
in their
forced
right
upon
mind.
you.
I'm going for a school of hard knocks. I got
No,
my
people
year
do
course.
that.
They don't
I'll
know.
come out with PhD in hard knocks. No, I don't think that, you're right. We don't look for tests. We don't look for suffering. God forbid. No one looks for it.
People do it all the time.
No.
Self-sabotage, what are you talking about? Of
Oh,
course.
You're right,
self-destruct
you're
is
right.
different.
Yes, well,
There
but
are
it's a
patterns.
suffering.
They have patterns of
That's-
behavior.
It's a
that-
very common pattern.
No,
of
wait, there
people.
are two kinds of suffering. There's two kinds of
But
check.
that's
There's
just like what
self-made
you're saying,
problems
the gym.
and there are God-made problems.
You have to
That's
tear
self-made.
down your muscles.
That's a whole
in order
different-
to build.
Okay,
up.
but that's like a wisdom.
That's
chachma.
self-destruct.
That's a chachma, okay?
That's a choice.
Anyways, let's go
No
on.
one
Number
chooses.
8 is male. It is called the male,
Yeah.
the Sefirot, and 9, it is the right side of the brain. Right side of the brain operates the left side of the body. The right side of the brain usually has to do with, let me see.
This is right side, what you said?
It says left side here.
No, what page you on?
Shoot.
27?
Let me figure this out. One second, now
that's
you're getting me
right.
wrong. I have
Wow,
right.
Mine says left.
Mine
How
says
do you
right.
like that? Did I
Mine says
switch
right.
it? I switched it on you.
You
I-
did.
maybe I
Is
fixed
it
it.
supposed to be right?
Oh, now I'm confused.
'Cause
One
I have the
second.
old- I have the old version.
Left-
No,
one-
the right, no, because the right side, this is my right, it is right side, it's not left, it's right side. Right side of brain
Uh-huh.
controls left side of body. Right side of brain is usually the spatial, non-linear, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, special,
It's
yeah.
the non-linear artistic
Side, yeah.
side, okay? It's dominant in that, okay? Even though there are many neurologists who like beg to differ, but many neurologists are still on that theory that it is the right side of the brain is the spatial, non-linear, artistic, spatial kind of thinking, okay, as opposed to the linear, mathematical,
Abstract.
logical.
Right.
Abstract, perfect word, better, okay?
Abstract, yeah.
Okay, that's chachma. Abstract, like a seed. It's abstract. You can't put it down. What's in it? What is it? I see a little rock. What is it? Okay, now let's go to Bina, and then we get a better understanding with Bina. We got a
So
few more
the
minutes.
male, the right side, that's controlling the right side of the brain?
Right side of your brain controls left side of body. So a person who's left-handed
That's me.
are more creative people. Okay. In any case, wisdom, understanding, Ima, is called Ima, mother. This is a big one, because we are children of Ima. Okay?
But if that's the case, left-handed people, then why are more artists right-handed?
I don't know, who knows? Because it goes both ways, and anybody can do anything at any time. We're just saying what could potential dominant, could be dominant. It's all potential. The future, okay, 2. See, we call, interestingly enough, the dimensions of time are in Chachma and Bina. We talked about the dimensions of character by Keter and Malchut. Okay? Keter was good, Malchut was evil. Now we're talking about the dimensions of time. Isn't that cool? And the rest of the Sefirot are going to be dimensions of space. All of these filter through all of these Sefirot. Okay? So, Chachma, okay?
Chachma and Bina are dimensions of time.
Chachma is, I believe, I'm trying to figure it out. Now I'm kind of lost. It says the future that holds what the past gives to it. So yeah, Chachma is the past, and Bina is the future.
That makes sense.
Okay?
That makes complete sense. Because one is Abba, one's Ima. Ima
And I
has
had
it.
an idea of that, and I lost it. It came to me once.
Well, it's simple.
The 2 dimensions of past and future. Okay? They're so high, don't forget. Okay?
What?
We are stuck in a dimension where time is constantly moving forward. We have no control. No control. Right? We want to. You endless movies about time travel. No way. Never happen. Right? As soon as it would happen, if God would give us a level of consciousness of time travel, we would come to realize that you wouldn't want to go back and change anything anyways, because nothing is more perfect the way that God makes it. You've got the ultimate perfect plan. Okay?
But you can travel back, but you can't travel forward.
You cannot travel back in time.
Yeah, because Stephen
No.
Hawking.
In your mind, okay, do it.
He's not really.
Go do it. Don't talk about it. Do it. I don't want to hear talk. Do. Okay, 3. Logical system that corrects axioms. Okay? So in other words, now the axiom is like A to B. So the logical system will bring you why A goes to B. Okay? The axioms, don't forget those rules or those principles was wisdom. And then the taking apart of those wisdoms is understanding. Don't forget, Bina is the soil. It's the fertile soil which takes apart the seed and breaks it into its many parts. Okay? Here, extracting additional information, learn one thing from another. Okay, deduction. This is a very important thing. They ask a person after his soul has left this world. They ask you, did you understand one thing from another? What a weird question. Don't say that when they ask you. Don't go, what kind of question is that? don't say that when you get up there.
You failed. Go ahead.
You say, good question.
What do they mean by that? That's a simplistic question.
It's
isn't it?
not.
It's
It's
very deep.
not. You have to be osake. You have to be involved in understanding. understanding one thing from another. In other words, making connections. Meaning you have to take a rule and you have to be able to apply it in your life. You have to take the rules of the Torah and put it into your life. I try to do that with every class. We try to take these abstract concepts of Kabbalah, which is like, what? And try to put it into our lives, okay?
Junctions.
You have to understand a rule, and then you have to see where you can apply the rule, okay?
That makes a lot of sense.
We'll get to more to that.
Oh,
Bain,
yeah, but
Vina,
if you don't have any junctions with what you're learning, then those junctions will always mislead you, and then
You
you
have
won't
to
have
look
anything to go
internally.
with.
okay, sis, we have to go a little bit.
You
Let's
have to
get to
see
number
those
6.
junctions.
Hevrei.
No,
we're-
you have to understand them, not
You have to
see
crack
them.
your head up and see, hello.
No, because if you don't understand it, you can't see it. That's the whole point of understanding. Bina. It's not seeing,
Hevrei,
it's
Hevrei.
understanding.
Let's go, because we gotta finish, okay? We look at Bina as being the female, okay? Number 6, the female. Okay, because we said Chachma was Abba, Bina is Ima, Chachma is a male sphera, Bina is a female sphera. Here you're introduced to male versus female, okay? Because you know why it's female? When we say male, female, male is means a giving,
Actor.
a bestowing. Female is a receiving. Female receives from Chachma, and then it breaks it apart. You have an idea to build a house, and then in your mind, you're going to go ahead and start to imagine how your house to look like in your mind. How many rooms, or how big, dimensions, floors, every single detail you will now articulate in your mind. That is Bina, the faculty in your mind of Bina that is doing that. Okay? Just so that you get a little feel for it. It takes the idea of, I want to build a house. That insight, right? We're going to build a house. That impulse. But now you got to say, okay, how am I going to do it? And then you got to lay out the plan in your mind, step A to step B. That is Bina, which is also called the left side of the brain. It is the linear. Takes the abstract thought and is going to go ahead and now try to bring it into something that could be manifest, okay, in a concrete way.
Whereas how that goes
I don't know
with
why it's
understanding.
related to the forehead. We'll get to that later. It's called the letter Hey, because we said Yud. No, we're talking about Yud K Vav K.
This is cool, because all the female words have a hey in.
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
a Keva.
So when you talk about the name of God, and I draw out Yud K Vav and K, right? We said Yud, right? The tip of the Yud here. Tip of the Yud is Keter. Yud is Chachma, and this is Bina. You're going to see this and this are going to be the same, and we're going to explain to that later, and we'll get to Vav.
The tip of the Yud is
So
Keter.
right now, up in here, you have to know there's a difference between Yud K and Vav K. This is mental, and this is actual, and this is. We spoke about this before. The name of Yud K Vav K means thought actualized. Okay. That's why the name is so powerful. That's why we meditate on it. That's why every time we say Hashem's name in the prayers, we have to visualize it in our mind. You put it with Adonut. You got to couple it together, and because what it is when you say the Baruch Atah Hashem, not only you're saying source are you God, but you're also saying Baruch, meaning more of you, increase of you, God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, in order to bring whatever it is that blessing that you're saying, Rofei Cholei Amo Yisrael, who is healing Israel. So in other words, you're co-creating with God for that manifestation. Okay, thought to manifestation. Okay, so it is the Hey. Who, we say who, because Chachma is what, Bina is who. We'll get into the different things later. I don't know why it's repentance. I have to go back into my notes for that. One important thing is number 12, the 50 gates of understanding. It's called the Jubilee. It's a nickname for that. We see it everywhere. Anytime you see, and the reason why is, and we'll get to it when we get into Sefirot, counting the Sefirot, is below 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you count 7 Sefirot, the 7 lower Sefirot, right? And we'll get to the fact that inside every single sefirah is
All the other-
10 sefirot.
Yeah.
So if you count 7, and if you
Times
just
10.
count 7 times, well, that's 70. But if you count just the 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 49, it comes to be 50. Not counting the first 3, okay? And the Sefirot, this is where we come to that when we count between Passover to Shavuot, right? And in terms of levels of consciousness, Moshe Rabbeinu reached to the 49th level of consciousness, and then he got to the 50th, but only to know that there was just another 50 to go for some reason. God put it in sets of 50. In other words, levels of consciousness that you can go is always going to be in sets of 50. You have 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 50. Okay? In terms of our growth. Okay? Okay, next time we'll stop now. Next time we're going to go to dot, which is the quasi-sphera, which is,
So this year's really important.
why? Is it the Jubilee?
5777.
No, it's the 777 that's important, and it's sevens, that's very important.
777 is still in this year, so that's why this year very important. There's a lot of growth. Another rabbi just said.
No, the year 777, Rabbi Mizrahi gave a whole thing on this, all of rabbis do, but it's Shabbos, it's,
Yeah, but it's
Mashiach
also
will
the
come.
whole point of the sevens, he just said, it's 7 growth and 777, so that.
but
is
that's,
done in a
that's
year.
different than 50.
Thanks.
Anyway. I have to be, I have this at home.
I don't think I know this.
Oh, we forgot to turn it on.